welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Let's get straight to it.
Now, my editor, who's a stickler for detail, he has to be, he's a top journalist of more than 50 years standing, insists that I make the following point. Just a heads up. Nicolas Cage in the movie Snake Eyes plays a detective called Rick Santoro, investigating the assassination of the Secretary of State, Charlie Kirkland, whose killing he witnesses at a boxing match. Kirkland is indeed shot through the left side of the neck. This is spooky. Tyler is the boxer who takes a dive to aid the killing, although he doesn't know that and is only doing it to clear his gambling debts. You may now know more about that Nicolas Cage movie than you care to, but it's one hell of a spooky coincidence.
So you saw the snake eye thing, right? What if I told you there's a music video with Erica being an actor getting with a guy named Tyler with certain dates in the video? Not just 9/10, which we know what that is, but also 10/10. What is 10/10 supposed to be? Y'all, I cannot even believe this, but we know the music industry is practicing divination and summoning demons to write their music. And you'll never guess who married Tyler and Erica in the music video. So first off, credit where credit is due. There's this guy named Ian Atta over there on Twitter, and he got a message from Chris. Chris says there's a music video by Emerson Drive called She's My Kind of Crazy. And in the video, there's some questionable numbers and questionable relationships. Iron, Ra, Atta, Ma. It is 2025, y'all. Learn Pig Latin. I had to record this very carefully so I can show you guys. All we're doing in this video is going over a really cool music video. So the actress in the music video, which you know who that is, actually commented on this 13 years ago. What a blast Tyler and I had shooting the video with you guys. And this is in the end of the video when they're ziplining. 9/10 and 10/10. What in the world is 10/10? Now 1000% unrelated. Remember a few days ago when I made a video about people on Twitter warning of a certain event to come? Completely unrelated. I just wanted to remind y'all. Now something that I saw when I was watching the video, it was very strange how Elvis himself was marrying them. You can say it's not Elvis all you want, I know what I see. And then of course we have a wedding chapel. And then of course we have these guys singing like actual goons. Some rappers and musicians call it the Rain Man. Some call it an alter ego. Roman, Sasha Fierce. But one thing is truly clear if you can actually see. Divination itself, workings of demons and fallen angels, is behind the whole media industry.
Yeah, bro, this rabbit hole has gotten way too deep. Shout outs to the real Moon Henry.
They scripted this decades ago, not prediction. Programming. Your body already knows. 1998, a movie called Snake Eyes. Secretary of Defense Charles Kirkland shot in the neck at a boxing event. Plot revolves around Israeli arm deals. Filmed at Trump Taj Mahal. The man who let it happen? Tyler, the executioner. 2025, Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson, same date, same archetypes. Odds? 1 in 44 billion. That's not coincidence. That's consent conditioning. In masonry, the Tyler guards the gate with a sword. In the film, Tyler equals executioner. In real life, Tyler Robinson equals the named suspect. Even the storm in the film is named Jezebel. The same name now tied to an Etsy witch curse on Kirk. They called this coincidence. Math calls it 1 in 44 billion. Even the hurricane in the film is named Jezebel. Remember how I just made a video about the Jezebel website and the witch hex linked to Charlie Kirk? Yeah, they show you the script so when the ritual lands, your nervous system doesn't fight. That's predictive programming. It's not foretelling, it's forging. They're not warning you, they're training you. This isn't about panic, it's about remembering. The scroll bearers, the light workers, the new earth architects, you're not spectators, you're the counter script. This is the moment to step into your function. If your body just pulsed watching this, comment scroll, and if you're ready to see the code they cannot predict, cannot cancel, cannot own, start with your $33 roll scan. Stop being programmed, start programming reality. Scripture warned, test every spirit. Quantum physics shows observers collapse timeline. When you recognize a ritual, you revoke unconscious consent. You stop feeding the script. This is how the timeline flips. You are not powerless, you are the lever. When Babylon shows you the script before the play, it's not entertainment, it's enforcement. Predictive programming isn't about predicting acting. It's about training your nervous system to accept the ritual when it manifests. They hide it as fiction so your conscious mind relaxes and your subconscious consents. The scroll is calling. This isn't just about Charlie. This is about frequency. When predictive programming collapses, it's the moment for scroll bearers, the light workers, the New Earth architects to step into function. You are not here to panic. You are here to execute, to remember, to enforce the scroll. If your heart is beating faster right now, that's not fear, that's memory. Comment scroll and get your $33 scroll scan. See the blueprint for yourself. Enforce the New Earth. If a 1998 film lined up this perfectly with what happened to Charlie Kirk, what else have they prescripted? If your body remembered while watching this, comment scroll. If you're ready to see your actual blueprint, the one they can't code, they can't cancel, can't predict, click the link in my bio for the $33 scroll scan. This is how you stop being programmed and start programming reality.
She make a great point. Shout out to Laura Egochiega. A 1 in 45 billion chance. Like, yo, things are getting creepier by the day.
Unless you're living under a rock, you've probably heard how in the movie Snake Eyes, one Charles Kirk is executed on September 10th by a man named Tyler the Executioner. But I'm not here to share that. I've got something different. And hey, that's a funny looking hand symbol. I wonder what that could mean. And just in case you missed my last video where I show what it means. That they all do. That they all do. And they do this one a lot too. And you know when they do it? Sometimes they do it right when you're supposed to be paying attention. Kind of like right here in this music video that guess who's in? Erica Kirk. And you want to see what comes shortly after he gives you the sign to be paying attention? Let's take a look. She wants to go ziplining so bad. Please take me ziplining. I want to go ziplining. Please, please. And what a strange number. And it's almost like they freeze on it and make sure to focus on it. Like it's the center focus of this random clip in a music video with Erica Kirk. You know, the one that gives you those symbols as well. But I'm sure it's all just a coincidence. They made that movie and it was totally random that the date lined up and the names lined up perfectly. Just like that music video. It was perfectly random that 9/10, the date of the... But it's not at all coincidence. And it's definitely not predictive programming. Because they have to let us know about their nonsense that they're going to do ahead of time. In fact, it gets us to manifest it for them a little bit and causes all the sheeple to believe it. But of course, entertainment only. I'm not really trying to expose all these lying Luciferian Masonic frauds that hide God from you and make you think you're spinning on a ball in a random universe, never ending and expanding and convincing you that you evolved from a chimp. Oh, and that dinosaurs are real too. Entertainment only.
How can you be mad at them? All these connections and coincidences really makes you take a listen. Shout out to the fittest flat earther. What's crazy is that I remember that music video. Like it's slowly all starting to come back to me. Like, oh snap. I hope it's not the case. I'm praying this is just all one big coincidence.
This man had a sex dungeon and had ties to George Soros. Holy cow. This is Howard Rubin. He is 70 years old and he worked at George Soros's investment firm and allegedly had a penthouse where he turned it into a sex dungeon. He is facing charges for allegedly luring dozens of women into New York City between 2009 and 2019, where he restrained, beat, and electrocuted them. Now, when I say electrocuted them, there are leaked text messages with his personal assistant and there are court documents out there with the details of this. Now, if this is true, what he did to these women, this is a very, very sick man. Keep in mind, this man is worth tens of millions of dollars, which he used in his favor. 3 kids, by the way. This man has 3 kids. And his personal assistant is also facing charges for sex trafficking. Her name is Jennifer Powers. This is the one that he had texts with a lot of weird details. One of his bedrooms in the penthouse, nicknamed the Dungeon. It had soundproof walls, painted red, and a powerful device used to shock and electrocute. The room also had a cross and a bed with restraints where women would be tied up. And yeah, I can make a video on some of the details. I really don't think I can say it on here, but I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on this case when we get more information.
You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Do what, mate? You having a laugh, ain't ya? You're having a jolly rancher. Listen, TikTok, let me tell you something about England. Yeah? Listen, the average England citizen doesn't even want to work. You know them ones there? Brother, man don't want no ID. You think man are gonna be... What, you think that scared us? Listen, look how many people so far have signed that they don't want it. And black people, sit down. Sit your black ass down. I don't know why you're hyping up and worried for. You think they haven't got your ID already? Brother, you're already on the books. Yeah, listen, you've already signed up digitally, analog. They've got you on every type of format going. So yeah, just how they came out with the whole vacuum and the whole jabby, you get me? It's the same thing they're trying to do now. So people, stay strong. Don't be no sheep and don't be scared. I know people are out there like, how am I gonna pay the bills? What about the children? Yeah? What about the mark of the beast?
Whoa. Well, that hit home, didn't it? Shout outs to the Bully Slayer, aka One Foul Wild. Shout outs to England.
This AI robot folds washing, does dishes, and factory work. It is so close, you have no idea how close AI is to taking over. It was also tested recently in a BMW factory assembling parts, which is mind-blowing. It's also being tested in factories where it has to identify packages it's never seen before. But that's no problem for this robot because it can identify an object that it's never seen before just using the AI power within it. It can manipulate the packages and find out what's going on with it, scan barcodes. Everyone's focused on large language models like ChatGPT, but the real revolution comes with robots just like this and the advancements that they're making so quickly. This was the same robot back in 2023, and now it's even better. With upgraded walking capabilities, lifting, identification. Experts say that robots just like these will be commonplace in another 5 years. We'll see them everywhere. They'll be inside factories doing work that humans used to do. And it seems like humanity is somewhat delusional when it comes to the advancements of AI and robotics in general, thinking that their job is safe for some reason. But not only are they going to take away those physical jobs, they think better than us. That's been proven with large language models. So what do you think? Is it something that we should be worried about, or is it just another robot that's been overhyped?
Yeah, I'm not worried, to be honest. I mean, the inevitable is the inevitable. Enjoy it while you can. In the meantime, he can hit them dishes, take out that trash, vacuum, word. Cool with that. Shout outs to Jake vs. the State.
When was the last time you saw Randy Jackson? Yes, the same Randy Jackson, the original judge from American Idol. The reason why I ask is because Randy Jackson co-hosts a new show called Celebrity Name That Tune. Some fans are very concerned about Randy Jackson. Why do I say that? Because they release promotional images for the upcoming season of his new show. And some fans have even taken to social media and claimed that he's been replaced with AI. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at this. This is the image in question, where they show Jesse Tyler Ferguson hosting along with Ariel Winter from Modern Family. That's Randy Jackson right there. But take a look at this as I blow it up. Who is that in that photo? Is that Randy Jackson? Or is that an AI-generated image of Randy Jackson? Randy Jackson, over the years, has gone through a dramatic weight loss. That was him back in the day. That's him not too long ago. Once again, back in the day, not too long ago. He does look amazing. So the question I have for you is, has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? That's the Randy Jackson right there we're all used to seeing. So who is this Randy Jackson in this photo? As I say in all my videos, I understand people age and people change. And in this new show, he just sits behind the piano and doesn't do much. But that's the Randy Jackson, once again, we're used to seeing. So my question to you is, what is going on with Randy Jackson? Has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? Is that really Randy Jackson, or is that an AI imposed image? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Yo, I think he looked like a wax creation. Shout out to the Jode 6'9". That wasn't even AI, that was a straight statue.
Influencers, okay. You said we talked about the woke right, and you said I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, you know, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're loonies, but they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well, okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is followers. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. Exactly. Very good. And, you know, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot, and I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpoint? Yes.
And then people are taking things out of context because there was in the article, the hit piece that came out, it talks about how Charlie raised up his phone and had written on Twitter, and he said something like, BB needs to resign or something like that. And he goes, what would happen if I do this? There was discourse, and then there was one woman who sat in the back who said, if you do that, you're indirectly going to empower Hamas. And then Charlie was like, see, you have to stop saying like that. He was saying that when you are debating about Israel, you need to stop doing it emotionally. You need to do it logically and factually. Otherwise, you lose the debate. He said it is moral blackmail if you say that somebody saying that a politician is bad, that you're then empowering a terrorist organization. Fair argument.
It was a fair argument, but it also was a real argument. And you kind of removed the names that were involved in this conversation. Natasha Hausdorff was there. Seth Dillon was there. And Seth Dillon was the one that was applying pressure to him. And Seth Dillon and Josh Hammer didn't jump on him in that moment. Were not happy. They were not happy with Charlie at the end of this weekend in the Hamptons because, again, they saw which way the wind was traveling in terms of his positions on Bibi Netanyahu and Israel. And they were, in fact, being accusatory. And again, you don't have to take it in my words or Xavier's words. I've always had a friendly relationship with Xavier, but we should listen to Charlie's own words, which we have played multiple times, of what happened the day after this little weekend retreat, where he vented to Megyn Kelly his frustrations with him being wrongly labeled anti-Semitic and how it was actually pushing him away and it wasn't good for Israel. And Xavier offered this explanation for why they didn't post about the weekend until they were rumbled about the weekend. Take a listen.
And then you have the people who are trying to go and say that, oh, then why was the meeting so secretive? The photos were already on my Instagram. The reason we didn't post that in the real time was because of safety. Do you know how many people would have loved to come and slaughter that whole hotel?
Feeling like Justin Bieber, because it's not clocking for me.
It's not clocking to you.
What, just being a conservative in the Hamptons was going to get you slaughtered? Like, were there Hamas tunnels under the Hamptons? That doesn't make sense. That makes entirely no sense. You said that it wasn't a pro-Israel event, so I guess there's no Israel angle here, which does, of course, there's tons of Zionists in the Hamptons, Bill Ackman among them. So I don't understand. You couldn't post that you were in the Hamptons because you were going to get killed. How? I need more information there, because that's just silly. I also love the context of him doing this on PragerU's platform. I obviously worked for PragerU. I know Marissa Straight. I am looking at Marissa Straight right there, a little PR operation. You know, Marissa has always been open about the fact that she worked for the IDF intelligence. And like I said, you could sense there was a PR panic when people started speaking about the weekend. I told you guys the truth. That's it.
Guys, many of y'all know me, and I am not a conspiracy theorist. Not in any way. Something is off about this Charlie Kirk case. There's so many things that are just weird about this case. The shooter's actions, the video footage, the gun, the running across the roof, changing clothes, maybe being at Dairy Queen after, the way he wrote his text messages to his boyfriend, bits of information that have been shared out from the media, the police, the governor. I swear it does not add up. We've all seen the video footage where he runs across the roof and jumps off the building. But where is the video footage before that happens? Supposedly this school has tons and tons of 4K cameras. Where are they? Why is all of the video footage that we're watching look like it was recorded in 480p? Why is everything that we watch distorted and grainy and awful? It doesn't make sense that this guy supposedly took this shot, took the gun apart, ran across the building, jumped off, had this gun in his book bag. If it fit in his book bag after the shooting, why didn't it fit in his book bag before the shooting? Why didn't he just go back down the stairs where he went up? Why did he jump off the building in front of cameras and people? Why didn't he just run down the stairs? That wouldn't have been odd because people were running. Where's the gun? Why did he take it across the street into the woods and put it back together and then leave it? Why didn't he just take it with him? If it was in his bag, why did he just leave it in his bag? The text messages that he sent, they make no sense whatsoever. Nobody talks like that in a text message. Certain things that he said vehicle. Nobody says that. People say I'm going back to my car, going back to my truck. Nobody says I'm going back to my vehicle. You know who says vehicle? Cops. That's who says vehicle. He kept making sure that he called this guy his lover. If you're already dating, you don't just keep saying that. It's just weird. You can go through and pick his text messages apart over and over, and they don't make sense. Another thing is, why didn't they secure the scene? It's just open. There's people walking around, students walking around, filming where it happened at, and there's blood on the ground. And
those are some good questions right there, coming from a retired investigator. Shout outs to Woody Kaminer. I agree. Why everything look like it's in 480p?
Okay, does anyone else think it's odd that Tyler Robinson, the Charlie Kirk shooting suspect, heads to Utah State University, a school with uniquely heavy CIA ties, for just...
So this is the perfect example of the kind of content that seems spicy, but you should probably double check it. And so we're going to double check it because I'm kind of curious to see what we can turn up. They seem a long way from writing daily briefs for the president and U.S. Defense Secretary. Jeannie Johnson, a former intelligence and political officer for the State Department and the CIA. Interesting. USU has a lot of assets, Johnson said. Your career at the NSA. They're all spies. So, Kind of checks out, eh? Seems like Utah State University is pretty friendly with the intelligence agencies. Seems like they're a critical node in the current pipeline of young people to spies. That's interesting. Well, now that we've looked into that question, seems like it checks out pretty good. And I guess I'll keep my eye on it more going forwards.
Shout out to Lace's Fair Lounge. Getting her joint fact checked by Ian Carroll. Definitely demonstrates the best practices of consuming news these days. Fact checking on your own. The fact of the matter itself is what's interesting. Like, yo, that's crazy.
Hey guys, okay, this is a follow-up to my video yesterday on Rusty Needs, the CIA professor at Utah Valley University whose profile has gone missing. Okay, I did this video yesterday and now AI is saying that these people don't exist, the 6 people that I named don't exist, and it's all fiction. Does anybody know if any of these people are real people at Utah Valley University? Okay, so I used AI to search the Wayback Machine, and here are the dates and removals. So his profile was fully accessible on September 24th, 2025, but taken down between September 24th and September 26th. He looks to be the first taken down, followed by 6 others, also in the CNSS spy school or tied to Canvas Security. These include Dr. Elena Vasquez, National Security Policy Whiz, Professor Mark Harlan, Counterintelligence Ethics Expert, Sarah Klein, Event Logistics Liaison, Jamal Reed, Track Coach with Security Ties, T. Ramirez, Intelligence Simulations Analyst, and L. Patel, Event Planning Coordinator. Now, get this. Yesterday, I got a message from @HumanitiesGirly on TikTok saying, hey, so they removed the entire UVU directory from the internet to protect faculty and staff. It's not just him, it's everyone. And then instantly she went ghost. Her profile said not found. So now everyone's profile is down. CNSS, Rusty's department, definitely contributed to Kirk event planning via briefings, but Utah Valley Police ran the security. Also interesting is that at the same time that those 7 profiles were dropped from the website, President Tumina's quietly removed her significant ties to Zions Bank and Carnegie. What do you guys think? Comment below.
I think this is what you call a true gumshoe. Shout out to Laze's Fair Lounge. Like, yo, just to hear some of these departments is like, are you kidding me? Like, what kind of school was this? Now that's what you call some strong intel. This joint is turning into where in the world is Carmen San Diego.
These photos change everything we know about why the Epstein files were not released a few weeks ago when there was a vote in the Senate. It shows Senator Lisa Murkowski, a Republican from Alaska, at a forum with Ghislaine Maxwell and her husband, Scott Borgeson. You may have missed this because it was on the same day that Charlie Kirk died, but Senator Murkowski was the deciding vote not to release the Epstein files. So we wanted to understand why she would vote against this. And we spent weeks finding out exactly what her connections were to Jeffrey Epstein. And what we found was a tangled web of connections in Alaska, the senator's home state. In fact, it all comes down to power and a series of meetings and events where they talked about the Arctic Circle and they lobbied and tried to expand it, which would obviously help Alaska and Ghislaine Maxwell's husband, who was doing a lot of business, maritime business in the Arctic Circle. There's also a connection to a wealthy Murkowski donor, Alice Rogoff, who just so happened to be Ghislaine Maxwell's friend and the owner of the Alaska Dispatch. So how Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein are connected to Murkowski just pretty much explains how Washington works and why these survivors have been waiting around for so many years for answers. And maybe this holds the key as to whether or not they'll finally get the answers. It certainly explains how insidious Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's connections were to power. You can check out my latest report at tarapalmary.com, or you can go to the link in my bio where you can read this investigative piece on the red letter.
The rabbit hole is deep. Shout outs to Tara Palmieri. That's some real heavy investigative journalism right there. Like, yo, the Arctic Circle.
Prime Minister of Denmark has just addressed the nation about the UFOs and drone incursions that have been happening as of recent, even happening now, right? So they don't know where these things are coming from, who owns them, what they are. Anti-drone equipment does not work with these objects. They can't disable them or make them or bring them down, right? Which is hella sus. And if this is anything, this could either be
aliens for one, if you want to say that, because it's like New Jersey and the other things that we've experienced around Oslo and Switzerland as well. Or this is a psychological operation to kind of get people panicking for whatever is to come out there, whether that's World War III or something more. But listen to what she has to say. It's pretty damn interesting.
Kære alle, Danmark har i de seneste dage været udsat for hybride angreb. Droner er set flere steder ved kritisk infrastruktur, militært og civilt. Det er angreb, som vi må forvente, der kan komme flere af. Og det er angreb, som har vist sårbarheder. Og det er angreb, der har til formål at skabe utryghed og splittelse. Det er angreb, der skal ryste os som mennesker og som samfund. Jeg forstår godt, at situationen rejser mange spørgsmål. Hvorfor er dronerne ikke blevet skudt ned, og hvorfor blev de ikke opdaget tidligere? Og der kommer et tidspunkt, hvor vi må kigge tilbage i de seneste dages hændelser og lære af dem. Men her og nu har vi som regering og myndigheder en altoverskyggende opgave, og det er at passe på Danmark. Og gøre os i stand til bedre at imødegå de hybride angreb så hurtigt som muligt. Og hvor er vi nu? For det første så har myndighederne hævet beredskabet, og de forbereder sig på forskellige scenarier. Det betyder blandt andet, at både forsvaret og politiet vil være mere til stede med antidronekapaciteter omkring kritisk infrastruktur i den kommende tid. Samtidig er myndighederne i tæt kontakt med vores allierede med henblik på hurtigt at styrke vores egne danske kapaciteter til at kunne opdage og til at kunne nedkæmpe droner. For det andet så har myndighederne mandat til, at fjendtlige droner kan tages ned. Men det er selvfølgelig de ansvarlige myndigheder, der skal foretage den operative vurdering i den konkrete situation herunder af de konkrete sikkerhedsrisici. Og for det tredje så har jeg over de seneste dage været i kontakt med en række af mine europæiske kolleger. Jeg har talt med den tyske kansler, den britiske premierminister, statsministerne i vores nabolande, Sverige og Norge, og med den finske præsident. Ligesom jeg har været i tæt dialog med NATO's generalsekretær, og vi er nu fra dansk side i tæt dialog med NATO-allierede om, hvordan de i den aktuelle situation kan bistå Danmark, så vi kan beskytte og forsvare vores luftrum. De hybride angreb har ikke kun ramt Danmark. Der har for nyligt også været hændelser i både Polen, Estland og Rumænien. Hybridkrig er ikke en krig i sådan traditionel forstand. Hybride angreb skal forvirre os. De skal gøre os usikre. Og det er fra en fej fjende, som ikke tør give sig til kende. Den ene gang, der kan det være droner. En anden gang kan det være cyberangreb. Det kan være det, vi kalder disinformation. Det kan være påvirkning af valghandlinger, konspirationsteorier, man læser på nettet. Men uanset hvilken metode vi kommer til at se, så er formålet det samme. Man ønsker at destabilisere vores samfund, og man ønsker, at vi ikke længere skal have tillid til vores myndigheder. Og alt sammen så understreger de, at sikkerhedstruslen mod Europa er alvorlig, og den er reel. Det er derfor, vi igennem de seneste år har været i gang med en massiv oprustning af vores eget danske forsvar. Det er i øvrigt også derfor, vi bliver ved med at støtte Ukraine, som jeg tror kan hjælpe os i den her situation. Fordi hvis der er nogen, der har forstand på at bekæmpe droner, så er det vores venner i Ukraine, og derfor er vi selvfølgelig også nu i dialog med dem. Jeg er også nødt til at sige, at det tager tid at genoprette dansk forsvar. Det beder jeg ikke om tålmodighed med, fordi den har jeg i virkeligheden ikke selv. Men vi har travlt. Og jeg beder om forståelse for, at selvom vi har det, så kan det trods alt ikke lade sig gøre, hverken fra den ene dag til den anden, eller fra det ene år til det andet. Og jeg er også nødt til at sige, og det her er særligt til nogle af partierne i Folketinget, at målet med hybride angreb, det er ikke kun at teste vores myndigheder eller vores beredskab. Det er som sagt også at se, hvordan reagerer vi som samfund, og hvordan reagerer vi politisk. Vi skal være på vagt, og hvis der er noget, der ikke fungerer, så skal det selvfølgelig rettes op. Det er vi i gang med. Men vi skal altså også bevare roen. Tiden er ikke til hurtige meldinger, eller politisk overbud, eller mistillidserklæringer til myndigheder eller til politiet. Fordi der er ikke nogen ansvarlige politikere, der vil kunne garantere den danske befolkning, at vi helt kan undgå hybride angreb. Det kan man i øvrigt ikke i noget land. Og det er nok snarere lige præcis omvendt, faktisk. At vi kommer til at se mere sabotage, flere hackerangreb, endnu flere droner, søkabler, der ødelægges, direkte angreb ind i europæiske demokratier, som vi aktuelt ser det i det lille land Moldova. At Danmark og Europa er under mere voldsomme og hyppige hybride angreb, det betragter jeg som en ny virkelighed. I næste uge der mødes alle Europas stats- og regeringschefer her i København. Vi skal diskutere europæisk forsvar og sikkerhed, herunder etablering af en egentlig dronemur. Med andre ord, Europa skal ruste sig, og vi skal opruste. Og vi skal aldrig lade os true, for sådan kan vi ikke være danskere, og sådan kan vi heller ikke være europæere. I de her timer og dage, der er vi meget vel i det, man kan kalde sådan den indledende fase i den umiddelbare krisehåndtering. Det har vi prøvet før i andre situationer. Og jeg har også sagt det, jeg siger nu før, at i enhver håndtering af en svær krise, der er der en risiko for, at man kommer til at begå fejl. Og det er ikke altid, at vi hurtigt kan give gode svar på de spørgsmål, der løbende vil opstå. Men som regering, der vil vi altså bestræbe os på at fortælle offentligheden det, vi kan. Det samme vil myndighederne. Selvfølgelig med en omtanke. Nemlig, at dem, der vil os det ondt, de lytter med på alle diskussioner, vi har med hinanden. Og selvom myndighederne ikke kan konkludere, hvem der står bag de hybride angreb mod vores lufthavne og anden kritisk infrastruktur, så kan vi i hvert fald konstatere, at der primært er ét land, der udgør en trussel for Europas sikkerhed, og det er Rusland. Og derfor til sidst en vigtig pointe. Der er ikke noget europæisk land, der kan forsvare sig alene mod Rusland. Det kan ikke engang Ukraine, som ellers tappert har kæmpet i mere end 3 år nu. Og det er jo derfor, vi har vores NATO-alliance. Det er derfor, vi er i gang med at udbygge den europæiske forsvarsindustri. Og det er derfor, vi er i gang med en historisk oprustning her i Danmark. Og de seneste dages begivenheder understreger kun, hvor vigtigt det er, at vi handler, men at vi gør det sammen med andre i Europa og i NATO. Tak fordi du lyttede med.
So either aliens, World War III, psychological warfare. It's either of these, or it's all three in one, mate. I don't know what's going on. We just know that there's more things happening, but holy moly. We have Poland, Switzerland, the UK and Heathrow Airport had some stuff as of recent, which people aren't talking about either. These incursions happen in New Jersey and multiple other countries as well. This is something that is ongoing. We don't know where they are, who they are, where they're coming from, where they're disappearing to. You can't take photos of them because they don't show up on images and stuff like that. They kind of, for some reason, you can't identify these things. Anti-drone warfare equipment doesn't work, so you can't disable them or bring them down. And they're just moseying on around. So, who knows?
Shout out to Denmark. Prime Minister said a lot right there. What type of technology are we dealing with? But it is very fishy that they're popping up at airports in different parts of infrastructure. I don't think UFO care about anything like that. Shout out to Interstellar Discussion.
Major breaking bombshell news that everyone needs to know about. Elon Musk is in the files from Epstein's estate that were just handed over yesterday to the House Oversight Committee. Democrats have released some of these documents that include Jeffrey Epstein's schedules, and it looks as though Elon Musk was potentially planning a trip to the Epstein Island. These documents also show appointments between Epstein and Steve Bannon, Peter Thiel, that happened during Trump's first term in office as president. Of course, Prince Andrew is named in the documents as being a passenger on one of Epstein's flights. There is mention of a tentative breakfast with Bill Gates. Now, the rest of the documents are highly redacted, so we don't know exactly what is in all of these, but this is enough to show that the entire files need to be released. Elon Musk, he was the one that outed that Trump was in the files on X, and now it turns out he is potentially in these too, and we need an answer from him. Did he go to the island or not? It just shows how the rich and powerful were involved with all of this, even after Epstein was first convicted and they knew about it. Demand the release of the files. Demand answers from Elon Musk. Demand Peter Thiel and everyone else involved be held accountable. Share this, spread the word. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
I think the question we all have is the legitimacy of these documents. If these documents are true and legitimate, this is a bombshell, I agree. Shouts to Jay's World 411.
Elon Musk's name has appeared in files relating to Jeffrey Epstein, with reference to him potentially visiting the island that Epstein owned. The files have just been released by Democrats in Washington, and they also show Prince Andrew was listed as a passenger on the pedophile's private plane. Let's bring in our U.S. correspondent, David Blevins. David, what else do we know about this mention of Elon Musk in these files?
Well, the Epstein estate has been gradually handing over documents to an oversight committee on Capitol Hill, and it is the latest batch of those documents that appear to suggest Elon Musk may have been a visitor to Epstein Island on December 6, 2014. An entry in what appears to be Epstein's daily schedule reads, "Reminder, Elon Musk to Island, December 6. Is this still happening?" December 6, 2014, of course, is 6 years after Jeffrey Epstein was listed as a sex offender. We've reached out to Elon Musk for comment. He's not just the world's most wealthy man. He was, of course, a very prominent player in the early days of the Trump administration, leading the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, until the two men had a very public falling out in June, when you may recall Elon Musk alleged online that the administration was concealing the files and that Donald Trump was named in them. He later deleted that post, and after 3 months of estrangement, the two men were pictured together for the first time at the funeral of Charlie Kirk last weekend. The documents also show Prince Andrew listed as a passenger on Epstein's jet in May 2000. It's not the first time we've heard that. During the trial of Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, one of her accusers, who was 14 at the time, recalled being a passenger on that jet with Andrew. The Duke of York strenuously denies any wrongdoing.
Just 10-14, I'm still about 15 out, but the 1-2 unit that's going to be up there to interview, as per SBI and FBI, we've been given clear direction not to interview, confirming negative interview until they get there.
140, we were not going to interview, we are just arriving now.
Copy that.
Building 151, this was relayed by Salt Lake. They're advising a complainant called 911, and he was stating there's an APB out on him for the shooting at UVU. He's now pinging at the Urban Pioneer Cafe at SMDB. Break.
I was just told that the FBI wants you to stand by there with him, and they're on their way to you. Thank you. And that came from the agent that's leaving Provo PD right now.
Okay, I didn't want to leave you guys on a crazy weekend cliffhanger. I needed to get that information out as soon as possible. Obviously, you can probably see that I received some information, a communication, which answered a lot of questions that the public has had about the story, or rather the non-story that we are getting from the feds. The push that Tyler Robinson is this lone shooter, which they're trying to establish as a fact. Some of the burning questions that we had, okay, well, if he turned himself in, how did he also not confess? I now have the answers to that. The main point, the reason why this information came to me, is because there's a narrative being spun right now by the media that Tyler Robinson is or was suicidal. That is not true. And that's a very scary thing when suddenly they're saying he's suicidal, and he's in solitary, and he's not suicidal. So that was the reason why this information urgently came to me. Obviously, I know a lot more, and I'm going to share it with you guys on Monday. I just wanted to vet some of the things that I heard, ask some more questions from people that would know, and just to make sure everything I say is above board. And obviously this lead led to more leads, and I want to give people a chance to respond. This is crazy. Nothing more that I can say. This is very serious. I don't know what's going on, but I do know that what we are being told has gone on is just not so. And this is really kind of going to begin, I think, to answer a lot of questions and many more questions that need to be asked. So I just wanted to let you know
that what they're telling us about him being suicidal is not true.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.